Hello, thank you for tuning into Life Conversations with Senior Helpers. We will now be hopping into the second part of our conversation with Matt Thornhill, the creator of the Openly Gray movement and the founder and CEO of Cozy Home Community. We appreciate you joining us for this thought-provoking conversation, and we hope that you enjoy this episode.
Now, growing older is not going to work out great for everybody. There's plenty of people that are going to have a tough time because of their physical conditions or health conditions or whatever it may be. So it's not going to be a walk in the park for everybody. My father-in-law used to say it's growing older is not for sissies.
Yeah.
You're going to have to deal with the realities that, you get to be 80, 90 and above and the warranty runs out on some of the parts. So there's that reality, and then there's the whole dementia and Alzheimer's issues that we all want to try to avoid. So let's do what we can.
Brain health is important, right? It really is. It's important to take care of your brain, because that's really where it goes for a lot of things. What you eat, what you do, your exercise, a lot of things play a role in that. One of the topics I wanted to bring up with you, because we talk a lot about senior care, and what we do to support. And a lot of my listeners will know I'm a primary caregiver myself, with caring for my 85-year-old mom. But I like to talk about just your perspective of where you think senior care is going to go, especially for us down the road. Like, who's going to be taking care of us? Are we taking more control of that? I'd be curious on your perspective on that.
Yeah, well, I see if I can organize some thoughts for you. I do think that the trend clearly is that people want to stay in their home as they grow older. There's this desire to move into some sort of assisted living community or whatever. That's for a precious few. And there's a huge population of boomers who have no interest in doing that. I saw a study out of Minnesota where they asked 600 boomers a bunch of questions about growing older and retiring, and 0 of the 600 said they ever wanted to live in an assisted living or skilled nursing facility. Man, it's like people don't want to live there. They may end up having to live there. So growing older in your home means you're going to need to figure out how to stay there, whether it's literally the building you're in, or maybe it's a different place that you live, but it's on your own in a community somewhere. And organizations like Senior Helpers and others that can figure out, how do I deliver services to the home cost effectively? I mean, that's going to be a growth business for the foreseeable future. And the reason I know it's really going to happen is the billions of dollars being invested in it across all walks, from technology that helps you stay in place to organizations that like healthcare plans like Humana buying home care companies, CVS buying a home care company, a hospital system in Charlotte, the largest hospital system in that part of North Carolina, has partnered with Best Buy to go in and be the geek squad to set up this aging in place technology. So there's a lot of money being invested in hospitals are trying to figure out, how do we deliver hospital services at home, hospice at home. All of this is at home, at home, at home. So that's the first big trend. But as you know, in your sector, one of the hardest things that everyone's dealing with is you can't find the workers to do the work, to do the care. There's a shortage of direct care workers, and has been for years and will continue to be for years. So the question back is, okay, well, who then can provide the care? And maybe the technology can help with some of it. Maybe there'll be, AI robots that can do some of it. But I think eventually we're going to have to figure out how able-bodied older adults can help older adults who are less able-bodied.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the workforce that gets turned into, okay, maybe I'm going to need an assistive device to help somebody move from a wheelchair to the bed or wheelchair to the toilet, because I'm 72 myself and can't do that, but I can do everything else to help them out. So I can help out my neighbor or my friend or whatever. So I do think that we're going to have to turn to each other, quite honestly, to do some of that.
I have these girlfriends. We've been friends since 12, and we call ourselves, we love the Golden Girls. So we've always call ourselves the Golden Girls. And we say, well, we're just all going to live together, this is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to help and support each other. And I believe in that concept. I think that, as a community, you can get together and, people, you can help each other out. And the other thing, Matt, I think about is that This generation for me, supporting my mom and all the things that I've been doing and watching her age is that, I don't want to put the burden on, my kids, right? I
Right,
want to take care of this,
right.
I want to make sure that the resources are in place, and I want to take more control over what aging is going to look like for me, versus just giving it over to someone else. Do you sense that? And with the boomer generation, that we're like, hey, we know what we're doing.
Yeah, and the reality is that not all boomers are going to be able to afford to take care of
Mm-hmm.
themselves at home. But
Mm-hmm.
in fact, a twist on senior living that I see coming is that senior living today is really bifurcated. There's the high end life plan communities that you have to give them, a couple $100,000 up front, and you're paying five, six, $8,000 a month for them to take care of you. Well, that only reaches the top 8% of the market, not
Mm-hmm.
very many. Then there's the people that don't make enough income that have to live in the government subsidized uh,
Right.
assisted living and so forth, and that's like 20% of the market. Well, what about the middle 70% of the market? What are they going to do? And there's some of them
Mm-hmm.
that are going to be fine, but there's a lot of them that are just not going to be able to. They don't have enough home equity. They don't have enough income. They
Mm-hmm.
maybe have some health issues. So we could have 75-year-olds living under bridges before too long if we don't figure out how to create communities where they're going to live. And perhaps interestingly, I think the growth area in senior living is to build middle income housing, and that's going to be the future. So I think there's going to be a shift that takes place in the senior living space over the course of the next 10, 15 years.
Are you already seeing that now? Are people, I mean, obviously, I see, especially living here in Sarasota, I definitely see that there are new condos that are being built, that are focusing on that middle income, because it's got so expensive around here that people just can't live in, a lot of these areas. And so there's been St. Pete's, they're doing it, Sarasota, they're doing it. Um, I know that even south of me in Naples, that they're beginning to create these areas where people, affordable living. Tampa's doing it as well. So I'm curious if you're seeing that trend.
Yeah, that's the hottest topic in senior
Mm-hmm.
living is how do we figure out to accommodate the middle income. But I have to tell you that the product that they're building is not a product people want to move to. It's a
Mm-hmm.
product people end up having to move to because it's like moving to a Holiday Inn Express.
Mm-hmm.
With maybe you got two rooms adjoining and that's it. And
Yeah.
why sell my house to go live there? I'll just stay in my house, even though I'm alone and that's not healthy, and I can't afford to bring people in and that's not healthy and may shorten my life. I just don't want to go live there.
Mm-hmm.
And those organizations that have built those things they're able to fill them up, but it takes them a lot of marketing dollars and a lot of effort to convince somebody to come in. And you talk about 55 plus as kind of the target for active adult or independent. The reality is the average age somebody moving into active adult today is 72.
Right.
And the average age somebody moving into independent living is 82. And that's because people don't want to go there. They have to go there. So,
So what would be the
I,
perfect? What would you see? What's the perfect? What would,
well,
if you could advise somebody who is interested in business development for middle income? What would you advise?
so Christine, are you trying to set me up to talk about
I'm just
cozy
kind of
home?
curious.
So as you may know, Christina, I left my career in consulting and advertising and started in 2000 a company called Cozy Home Community, where we're building small, one-story, single-family detached homes of 1,200 square foot, two bedroom, two bathroom, and we're putting 8 to 12 of them in a cluster with an extra building in the middle that's kind of we call it the common house or a community
Mm-hmm.
building. And then we put these colonies, these clusters, we put 3 or 4 or 5 of them together, and we have a cozy home community.
Mm-hmm.
And all the homes face into this common area with grass and, place of fire pit and such. And the idea is that if from age 60 to 80 plus, come live in a community with other people who you'll get to know, and we'll help you get to know them. That's part of our strategy,
Mm-hmm.
and go through this stage of life together in community. In fact, if you come and live here, and the first one we're building is going to be a rental model, When you sign that lease, part of signing that lease is you agree, as long as you're able, to give 10 hours a month back to the community. So we set up like a time bank where people say, okay, here's the things that I can do and I'm good at and can help you with. You can post what you need. And it's based on research that's been done that says people are more than willing to help each other. But people who need help are reluctant to ask because it comes with an obligation. He did me a favor. Now I got to do him a favor back. Well, if you set up this time bank, everybody knows they're obligated. So everybody helps everybody. And the tasks don't have to be things that Senior Helpers does. The task could be simply, going to a doctor's appointment with them or going grocery shopping for them, or maybe it's taking care of the landscaping in the community or overseeing the bookkeeping or something like that. So something to give back to the community. So if we share those duties and responsibilities, it can reduce our overall rent, make it affordable to us. We don't have to bring in outside help because we're helping each other. And all I've done is tried to create a place where that can happen, a community where that can happen. And as opposed to just hope that it happens, we're going to be intentional in making it happen. So it's
where
not
is this located?
The first one that we're building is going to be in Western Pennsylvania, next to a university. Actually, we're building 46 homes across 4 colonies with 4 common houses in them. And we are about to break ground. We haven't broken ground yet. The homes themselves are actually modular homes. They're built in a factory in pieces and come and assembled on site. They're just like a stick-built home. It's not a mobile home. It's a regular home. It's just built inside where it stays dry. And
so did you pick like the oldest state there is, Allegheny County in Pennsylvania?
No.
I think it's like the oldest county in the United States.
Well, this is Butler County.
As far as population, aging.
Yeah. This is Butler County, and it's a perfect site. I've got perfect business partners who own the land and who are going to operate the community when it's up and running. And we're excited to get it going and kind of prove out the concept that people do want to live. And we were designing the concept when we started in 2020, not knowing that COVID was coming, but we were designing it leaning into what we saw the trends. We knew that eventually older adults would come to do telemedicine. We didn't know it would happen in a couple of months in the middle of 2020. Right. We knew that older adults would eventually get accustomed to having things delivered, like groceries and their pharmacy and all of that. And again, even food delivery from DoorDash, all of that has happened. And we basically realized that the future of senior living is going to be this delivered to your home, but to do it cost effectively. What if I could have, I don't know, somebody from Senior Helpers or a visiting nurse come and spend the day at our place? They could see maybe 8 different residents over the course of a day versus driving to 5 different places in a day. So I can offer it more cost effectively. I can bring in the yoga instructor. I can bring in the dog groomer because I've got 90 plus people. I've aggregated them so I can bring services to them. I don't have to provide the services. I just need to provide the people who need the services. So the community-wide services can come in and support it. So that's the idea behind Cozy Home.
I love it. I think it's a great concept. I think it's how people have been thinking about it anyway. All of these things are starting to happen, and to have it, just kind of see it in one community. And I'm assuming you're going to have research. This is what a great research project for someone, right?
Yeah.
To be able to, this is fantastic.
Well, Christina, part of it, you talked about you and your girlfriends since age 12, the Golden Girls. Well, that's how it came to me. I remember being at parties and hearing women in their 40s and 50s just say, we're going to outlive the husbands, and what are we going to do? And it's like, let's buy up a wing of an assisted living facility, or let's buy up a bunch of homes on a cul-de-sac. And a light bulb goes off. I'm like, why don't we just build an intentional community? Because they're going to want to downsize. Let's make it so it's something people will want to move to, not something they have to move to. So
I think it sounds great.
Thank you.
I love it. Well, I can't wait. I want to be there when you open this thing. So we'll definitely be there. Matt, I want to thank you so much for participating in our life conversations. I learned a lot today, a lot of great information for our listeners. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
More. How can they follow you? Is there some ways that they can follow you?
Sure. They can go to cozyhomecommunity.com.
Okay.
COZY, home community. They can go to openlygray.org. And I'm on LinkedIn. I'm not hard to find. The interwebs makes it easy to find me.
Good. That's really great. And yeah, I also see his Facebook as well as Instagram. So
yeah,
he's on social media. Thanks so much for participating. And Matt, a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thanks, Christina.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Life Conversations with Senior Helpers. We hope this discussion has inspired you to embrace aging gracefully and independently. For more resources, tips, and expert insights, please visit us online at seniorhelpers.com. Stay connected, keep learning, and continue cherishing the moments that make life truly special. We're here to support you every step of the way. Until next time.